So Val, we just got back from the NORRA 500 racing, 2 days, 500 miles in Baja. I've got some really powerful memories, just like succinct memories, but before we get into all my BS, what do you remember?
So I've never raced NORRA before, as you know, and we started on the Malecon for the first time. Every time I've raced Baja, it was up in the mountains where nobody could see us. Sure. What is that place even called? I've never even seen the inside of it before.
Up in the mountains where no one can see us?
No. I mean the building where we did registration and everything.
San Nicolas?
No.
Or no, the San Nicolas, I don't know.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But anyways, we started right there, and we literally drove through the middle of town. Like, we were stopping at all the stop signs, and
Sure.
traffic was going, and people were kind of looking over at us like, what is going on?
Sure.
Or maybe I thought they were looking at us like
Sure.
that. It was weird. It was really cool. And then you just take off and start racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both days we went out by the Pepsi stand. For those of you who know where that is, that was kind of the start point. That's where NORRA does it. But going through town, that was probably one of my memories. I'll jump in. Day 2, there's altos everywhere, and alto's a stop sign. Day 2, I'm focused. Day 1, we'll get into it. It was kind of ho-hum for me. But day 2, I'm like, man, I'm going to get this back. I'm going to chase down Valerie. I'm going to catch up to her. Missed an alto. Missed an alto. And there was a gal, I'm pretty sure I'm Facebook famous. I lock up the binders on the trophy truck, and I'm like rotating through the alto, through the stop sign, and her eyes were so big. Matt, my co-driver, and I, we're just giggling. We're all fired up. But to your point, starting downtown, driving through downtown, going out to the Pepsi stand, is a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
What else do you remember?
I would say day 1 for me was kind of the opposite. I had a great time. I like the technical stuff, not cliffs, but I like, weaving through the trees and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, pine forest.
Yes,
yeah.
It was a lot to learn the road book. I've never done that before. Obviously, I wasn't the one reading it, but it was.
Tell them about your little 37-mile-an-hour incident.
Oh, so. My co-driver is not very familiar with the Stella, or at the time he wasn't, and we were going and
Chase Thomas.
Yeah, Chase Thomas. So we were going, and I can't hear the Stella beeping because we're going wide open through Ojos, through the middle of town, and we're going about 106. And he's like, "Hey, what's this 37 on the Stella mean?" And I'm like, "Chase, that's a speed zone." Okay, and now we're going through the middle. It was.
For non-Baja racers, there's sections where you're wide open, there's sections where you're in town, you're in a ranch area, they want you to slow down. Your co-driver's critical. And the first 30 minutes, Chase was figuring everything out. The road book's very complex, it's very complicated. That first 30 minutes, they missed a speed zone, and it might have cost you a small penalty. But,
about 47 minutes.
About 47 minutes, but who's counting? But the Pine Forest, you had a great first day. I'll get into my not so great first day, but what do you remember about going up into the Pine Forest?
I don't know. It was just really pretty muddy still.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember, what race mile was that? Where the 4Runner came up on you. You were in front of me at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to
say we did 70 miles. We had a connecting section. Then we had a 120-mile section through the Pine Forest. I'm going to say it was roughly 40 miles into the 120 miles. Kind of connect our stories here. Day 1, I started ahead of Valerie. I was ahead of Valerie until I wasn't ahead of Valerie. But when I was ahead of Valerie, it's really tight. We're going in the Pine Forest. It's kind of in a low area. Come around the corner with a 7,000 pound trophy truck, and right in the trail is a 4Runner. What I thought at the time was a family, we know later was maybe not a family. I'm on the binders. If I would have sit on the binders, I would have punched them. So I get off the binders, so I can steer again, get around them, inches away from them, get around them. Didn't think much of it. Valerie's the next truck in the line. Valerie's truck and mine are very similar, same wraps. What experience did you have with the 4Runner people after they'd been scared to death and maybe pissed off a little bit? What did you experience?
So I came up on them again. I kind of saw their dust a little bit, and I was like, oh, someone's going backwards on course. Maybe I didn't really know. Maybe a farmer. But I came up on him, and he stops just where I couldn't get around him, and he throws his door open, comes to my hood, and slams his hands on the hood. And I'm like, okay, that's not a good sign. Sure. In the middle of nowhere, Baja. He comes to my driver window net, and he's banging on it, and he's screaming at me, and I obviously can't understand him. And I I was terrified, and Chase's like, okay, go.
Sure.
So we started going again, and we were kind of shaken up a little bit. We didn't know, we didn't know if he had a gun. Well, it turns out he did.
Yeah, he had a gun, for goodness sake. Yeah.
So
there was a class 1 behind Valerie, and we now know, I believe Keith was the driver.
Keith or co-driver, I don't know.
Yep.
But
yeah, we get back in after the first day and like, hey, did you run into the guy with the 4Runner? Did he pull a gun on you? And we kind of told him our story. But yeah, this guy pulled a gun out. It was him, his brother, we think maybe his mother or grandmother, and an elderly woman.
Something, yeah.
They pulled a gun. So, banditos, drug lords, pissed off farmer, rancher, all the above. Who knows?
Who knows?
But Angel saved us. We got through it. We got through the mud. We got through the forest. A third person who's not here with us, Joey of Joe Black Racing, he had a moment that first day. Valerie, do you want to kind of share with the team what you know of it?
It was day one, again, tight and technical. Once you started going down the wrong end of the fork, you had to bushwhack or turn around. And they always say don't turn around, and they always say don't back up. Mm-hmm. And I even made the mistake on day one. I went down the wrong way, and I either turned around and came back towards race course, or I backed up.
Not like score. There's no arrows. The road book, the pressure that's on the co-driver to be able to discern turns. Joey's going, Joey's pushing. Joey finished top 10 on day one. He finished top 10 on day two. Joey's fast.
Pushing, yeah.
Yeah, pushing. He tracked down the America Reynolds truck, another Geyser, a twin to Valerie's, and unfortunately, gentleman was backing up, and in the dust, Joey ran into the back of the truck. Fortunately, not the side, not the front, but the back, and a ton of damage to both vehicles. However, both trucks raced the next day.
And finished.
They finished, yep. And fortunately, the main injury on day one, we thought it could have been a broken back. It was not.
We heard it wasn't.
We
I haven't heard anything
we're
since.
We're still kind of corroborating. It's kind of post-race stuff, but wild first day.
Yeah.
Wild first day.
It's crazy.
I won't dwell on it, but my first day, I was not feeling it. It ended up getting a flat in the pine forest. Valerie passed me. Joey passed me. So day two, when I ran that Alto, I was focused on catching up, and we'll kind of get into that in a minute, but. Super tight. I mean, it was the UTV guys. They were loving it. All-wheel drive. They could kind of get in and out of stuff.
I was getting all the crap from my UTV friend. He was like,
Yep.
"Why are we catching you? You're in a trophy truck." I'm like, "Because this isn't a wide open section."
Sure. Yeah. There were gates that literally you're rubbing the tires on these geysers.
It's pretty tight. Yeah.
Pretty tight. So anyway, day two. You want to start us out on that?
Yeah. Day two. It seemed like everyone and their mother got there before we even started the race after the transfer section.
Sure.
I guess there was a mountain bike race going on. So I sat there did you sit there for a while?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah. We stopped off at the drugstore on the way. My co-driver, Matt, he had heartburn. I had a headache, Baja flu, if you will. So we stopped at the drugstore on the way. So we weren't in a huge rush. Since the stage start, we knew we had some time, but a mountain bike race, I didn't know that. So
yeah, we got held up just barely.
Yep, we get up there, we get to staging for the beach run.
Yes.
Anyone's run Baja, anyone's seen Dust to Glory, the Pacific Ocean, the beach run, that's mint. I mean, that's just, legendary Baja. Tell us about your beach run.
Well, so it started right, I would say, in the middle of my section for the 400. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
So literally where it started was before the highway section, before I got into European.
Okay.
So right before that pit that we had. And the section from through the dump, I don't remember if it's San Vicente or San Tomas.
San Tomas.
I get them mixed up.
I do too.
But
San Tomas, yeah.
That was literally backwards half of the section that I did at the 400.
Okay.
So I knew it pretty well. Still scares the crap out of me every time.
Sure.
Cliffs are not my thing. My biggest fear is and always will be heights. And my second biggest fear is the ocean. Okay. So this was not the best little combination for me. Sure. Even though I knew that section of the course, I knew there was heights, and so it slowed me down a little bit. Got stuck behind a UTV, and who can blame them? There's no place to pull off.
Sure.
I think you gained about 5 minutes on me there for sure because I was stuck. And then we get out of there, go through the wash. get to the transfer section to get to like where the ocean actually is. And I don't know, I've seen that video. I don't remember who it is. Someone showed it to me where the guy is going through the Pacific Ocean section. He just launched into the ocean.
He's out in the water, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
like winching his truck out.
That's literally all I think about anytime I'm in that section.
Sure,
I hate that stuff. I will do in the trees, in the pines all day long. But it was kicking my butt.
So day one was Val's. She's in the pine forest, super technical. She does great with it. I was fighting it, could never really got my rhythm. Day two, I started 5 or 6 positions behind Val, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna catch up to her. I didn't know when I was gonna catch up to her, but I'm gonna catch up to her. Mattco Fab, who preps the truck. We're on. We're leaving San Tomas. We're doing the ridges in and out, and we get into the rough stuff. And my truck, former trophy truck, big geyser we call it, not per se the smaller geyser. It gets in the rough, and I'm standing on it, and it's just eating it up. There was a section where we hit an A-arm, we kind of hit the leading edge of the A-arm, just kind of dirt went in the air. So we were on it, and picking off vehicle, because day one, again, had the flat, not feeling the pine. So there were these slower vehicles that in that section, the truck, myself, my co-driver, everything kind of came alive. My pinnacle moment was as we're inching towards the ocean, and Val kind of shared with you, there's some technical stuff, she got hung up with some traffic. I see her truck in the distance. I picked off 3, 4, 5 vehicles. I see her truck in the distance, and Matt, there's a button where you can do push to pass. He's like, do you want to do push to pass? I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do push to pass. She'll know we're here. She'll get over. She didn't get over. So the next 10 minutes, the next 15 minutes, we're just in her dust. We're up in like the cow pastures, kind of running the Pacific Ocean. And even Chase, her co-driver, said afterwards, like, man, whoever that is behind us, he didn't know it was us, man, he just, I don't even know how he sees, because we're just in the dust, pushing, blowing turns, blowing off into cactuses, almost missing gates, because like we're gonna pass Valerie and Chase. Matt and I, we're gonna pass Valerie and Chase.
Meanwhile, I had no idea it was him. He hit the push to pass. I saw the push to pass, and NORRA, there's no nerfing, and you're expected to get off immediately. And I knew that. I heard that in the driver's meeting, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Sure.
So I was fully expecting to get a penalty for holding you up, because I thought it was somebody else. So it's not that I was running away from my dad. I was just running away from whoever it was.
Sure. Just trying to get it going. So we're battling back and forth for 10, 15, 20 miles along the Pacific Ocean. I mean, literally the ocean, the waves are crashing. 2 geyser trophy trucks, match wrapped, father, daughter. I mean, we're just hammer. I kind of had to get out of it because we were gonna hurt the truck, because we in the dust. We're missing turns. We're missing medium-sized, large-sized rocks, cactuses. We'd already gotten a flat the prior day. We knew one flat sets you back 5 minutes plus or minus. We got to get there. So we kind of come up, we're kind of coming back in, or we're headed down to, what was the south point? Was it Colinet before we cut?
I believe so, yeah.
Before we came to the Vineyard Road, before we did the crossover road, over to Mike's, over to Valley T, actually not Mike's, but Valley T. We come up and she stopped. I'm like, oh, cool, she's finally gonna get out of our way. Come to find out, she almost did what?
So we came up on a power line, and here's the fence that we're going through, and then here's, like, this is the corner that you have to make. You have to go through here and go straight here. And I ended up doing like a big old turn, and there's a cable, and I almost ran myself up the cable, and that's the only reason I stopped. You would have never gotten around me otherwise.
So we come up, and I'm like, hey, thanks for getting over. And that they were not getting over.
No.
They were just furious at each other. They were furious at us.
It was not a good moment.
Because the light bulb went on, like,
we were like,
shit.
That's my dad.
Yeah, they caught us. And needless to say, Matt, my co-driver, and I, we hit the flats. It was pretty wide open between there and Colinet before we got back on Interstate 1 to the Vineyard Road. We're just standing on it, and we just went on. We checked out. Footnote is we were battling at the beach. Those trucks, they are so close. I mean, you can tell they're both geysers. They both work very well. But the engines, I mean, just everything. It's just right there. I was like, I only had 50 more horsepower. I've only had 100 more horsepower, but we battled.
Yeah.
So good job.
You too.
So anyway, crossover road. You came in, did a little bit of maintenance on your truck, left front brakes, right?
Yes, yeah, we changed some brake pads. I was riding them a little bit. That's something I'm learning to fix as a new driver.
Sure. So. Yeah, we're getting ready. So this crossover road, Valerie mentioned the cliffs on the beach side. This crossover road is nothing but cliffs, all cliffs. Those of you that have ran it, it's back and forth. So there was an older, I'm going to call it a Class 8 that we passed that morning. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get him to go out 2, 3, 4 minutes. There was another UTV that we passed and let him go out 2, 3, 4 minutes. So I've got something to kind of chase their dust. So I'm waiting and staging. It's a staged race. And this Can-Am like shoots in front of me. And I don't blame him. I mean, I was kind of jamming it up. I'm like, all right, cool. So he departed. I pulled up right behind him. I'm like, and I'm a Can-Am guy, obviously. You can see, I'm going to run him down. Now, cliffs, tight. He's all-wheel drive. I'm two-wheel drive. It took me two-thirds of the crossover road to run him down, but we did. We're reeling him down, we're pushing him, and then we passed that next UTV, and then we passed that Class 8, and then boom, we're in Valley T, we're chilling again on a transfer, thinking we're going up the goat trail, but we ended up cutting in someplace else. Crossover road, I know you were a little bit white knuckle. Anything you want to highlight regarding the crossover road?
Let's see. I don't know. I hear about it all the time, and just being there, it really proved that it's pretty dangerous.
Sure.
It wasn't my favorite section, but that's okay. When we got onto the next section,
sure.
Those S-turns again, not in the trees, but there were trees around.
Sure.
I really enjoyed that section a lot.
Sure. No, absolutely. It was a hoot. Yeah. Once it kind of opened up, it was very flowy, and you're kind of pitching the truck to get a 6,000-pound truck in the air, to maybe even hit a double. It's like, wow. I mean, this is a feeling. This is cool. This is electric. But I remember getting into Valley T. We did have a remote pit there. We waved them on. I didn't stop. I don't think you guys stopped.
No, I didn't stop either.
Kind of kept on. It was like this, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to get there. Jump back up on the transfer section, Highway 3. Highway 3 does east-west across the peninsula. Highway 1 north-south. We get back up, we get in staging, away we go. I remember in 19, in a UTV, it was an Arctic Cat, actually the fender off that Arctic Cat's there, doing that section at the NORRA 500. I remember we were battling for first in the NA, Sportsman, UTV, whatever class it was, and I did not stop in Ojos Negros. My fuel gauge, it's showing a quarter tank. Well, leaving Ojos Negros, 12 miles to the finish, ran out of fuel. So I wasn't going to do that again. I knew the section. So just all the memories were just kind of clicking back to me, and I'm like, boom, we're going to do this. We're going to hammer it out. And the truck was working. That's another thing. Tell everybody about rotating, backing in a 6,000-pound truck. What does that feel like?
That's one of those things where you kind of just have to get over the fact that it feels funny at first, to be completely honest. I went straight from UTVs to trucks just like you, and just like that feeling of all that weight behind you just kind of falling into each corner. Yeah. It's a lot, but it's really fun once you finally get it. Kind
of steering with the rear end.
Yeah.
And I remember early on someone had said that to me, folks that have raced much more than I, and I'm like, steering with the rear end, what are you talking about? UTVs, love them, but in my view, it's cheater. I mean, you got power on all four corners. It'll get you into trouble, but it'll get you out of trouble. Steering with your rear end, that's a big deal. That's tricky. But yeah, we're racing back day 2, completing the 500 miles. I remember day 2, passing by people, battling with Valerie, passing them again on the crossover road. I'm like, man, I knew we had a good day. I remember finishing day 2, wishing there was a day 3. I think based on that alone, we've committed to do the NORRA 1000, which is a 4 or 5 day race all the way down the Baja Peninsula. But when it's clicking, you on day 1, me on day 2, when it's clicking, it's not effortless, but you're just, the mojo's there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not tired per se. You're not sore. I mean, bouncing around.
You're not waiting for it to be done.
You're
I
not
feel like
waiting-
there's some races where I'm just like, how many miles do we have left? Like, can I go home yet?
Correct. Your body's hurting. You're thinking about it. You know, things aren't clicking.
Yeah, you're not on autopilot. I feel like I'm having the best time when I'm on autopilot and thinking about something
Sure.
else.
So day one, Joey, he's the fast guy in our group. He finished 4th in class. I finished 5th. Val finished 6th. Excuse me, other way around. Day one, Joey 4th, Val 5th, Dad 6th. Val and I always finish very close. Those that follow us, those that know us. Day 2, it flipped. But overall, this 2-day, this 500-mile race, we were within minutes of each other. Pretty cool. Racing. In the class we had 800 horsepower trophy trucks. We had 500 horsepower spec trucks is what we had. We had class 1s. It's NORRA. It's more of a fun race, but you know, there was competition there. So to finish 4th, 5th, and 6th in class, finish 8th, 13th, and 16th overall.
I think that was day 1. I think it was like 6th or 9th for Joey, and then you were 14th overall, and then I was 20 something. I don't know. I don't remember,
but you had that 47-minute penalty.
Yeah.
Chase Thomas. Anyway, but it was a great time. So looking ahead, what do we have coming up in December?
We got Rage, as always. Always a fun race to end the year on.
Sure. I think we're going to race 3 trucks plus. We heard Class 11's coming out.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Joey said he's going to try to get the Class 11 out there. I think the Joe Black family, I'm not sure who will drive, whether it'll be Joe or Joey's brother, but the 3rd spec truck will be out there, so that'll be fun.
I've also heard rumor that they're all going to be wrapped to match each other. Maybe.
Sure.
We'll see.
Sure. Absolutely. So big shout out to our sponsor, Unlimited RV. Those of you who don't know, I own Unlimited RV. Valerie, of course, is my daughter. Why do we do what we do? Why do we work so hard serving other families, selling RVs? So we can have fun. Get out there, live like nobody else. Be unlimited is kind of our mantra. You're going to see a fresh cut drop at the Baja 1000. Fish Gistics is one of our sponsors. He runs one of our toy haulers. We're very thankful for that. We're going to have a 30-second spot, really, highlighting Valerie, highlighting Unlimited RV, which is lifetime warranty, which is all the brands. I mean, if you're a Grand Design person, we got you. If you're a Forest River person, we got you. If you're a Keystone person, we got you. We have all the brands. And then also for our racers like us, since we're in the Midwest, free shipping. We will U-ship. We'll have a professional, insured driver deliver it to your house in Cali, in Arizona, in Utah, in Nevada. That's what we do. And it helps us buy those $800 BFGs. It helps us buy that $12 per gallon fuel, and I'm probably off now with fuel prices. But we really appreciate it. We really appreciate you guys supporting our family, supporting our family business. And we want to give back. We want to get you that Solitude toy hauler. We want to get you that Montana fifth wheel. We want to get you that motorhome. We have motorhomes too. So whatever your flavor is, we're here for you, and we appreciate the time checking in on us here for the NORRA 500 recap. And we look forward to checking in with you guys soon. Maybe talk about Rage next.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, any closing thoughts, Val?
I'd just like to thank Joe Black Racing for prepping the trucks.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Matt, Chase, everybody that comes out, stays away from their families for night after night after night. I'd like to thank Timberline for letting us use their shop space.
Yes. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yep.
And let's see, KMC, F&L, Seal Savers. Who am I leaving out?
Fuel?
F&L.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Stein Art Graphics for the awesome wraps.
Yep.
I don't even know. Just everyone that helps support us and allows us to have a great time.
Absolutely. Closing thoughts. We learned the last two races, the Baja 600, the NORRA 500. The team we have, it's really like no other.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the continuity, the teamwork. Everyone just kind of digs in, does their part, makes it seem effortless, even though the effort, the hours, the intensity, the focus is insane.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're just kind of soldiering on together as a team, and that time together, it's becoming equal in some cases, much more significant than the time behind the race wheel. So yeah, it's just kind of a cool deal. So Joe Black, Joey Black, Matt Chase, all of their friends, all of their family. We couldn't do without them.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out. So thank you guys.
Yeah, they're awesome guys.
So, yep.
Couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely. So
Yep.
Thank you for your time, and we'll check in with you guys soon.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Bye.
Thanks.